All right.
All right, I hit start stream. Oh, there we go. Like we are live. Or at least says we're live. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. welcome. We're live. Welcome to. We're just gonna call this the September podcast. We're already like halfway. We're gonna call this the.
I'll just call it August September podcast. There we go.
All right, but welcome to the anime outpost. I am. Themselves.
Neko here.
Striker right here, aka the worst member in Outpost history in at least 7 years counting.
It's your boy Baron. Just kidding. It's Baron, otherwise known as Red Baron or Strider Baron. But yeah, Red, what's up?
All right. So for August and September, we watched Mitsuboshi Colors. And the Mitsuboshi Colors anime about three little girls who like to play pretend that they are a group of
Percentai.
group of heroes defending justice and peace. But they actually just kind of run around and play
Cause
in the
problems.
city. Cause problems too.
Yeah, it's ironic,
things,
really.
Generally be annoying to the people, but also just kind of playing around. And that's kind of it, really. There's they're in what seems to what seems to be a small and close knit district of what city?
It's called Ueno, and it's a district in Tokyo.
Okay, so they're in a relatively seemingly tight knit district in Tokyo. I say that because everyone are. Yeah, they're mostly it's mostly just them running around the city doing. So yeah, it's what typical slice of life. So there really isn't much of a synopsis.
Yeah, basically it's your typical cute girls doing cute things kind of anime. Not really. You're not really gonna expect much.
Yeah. So that being said, we'll jump right in. So the animation to this show is kind of I don't know. It has this aesthetic of it basically always being sunny day. You ever like get that sort of thing where it's maybe like the Shire, well, except this city, but you can't imagine it. You can't really imagine dark or rainy or anything like that. It's like this normal summer, fall.
Yep.
To be
Well,
fair,
it's got an overall.
running around doing dumb stuff. Like, do you really expect them to do like a horror film at night or whatever?
No.
I was just gonna quickly add, like the area they're from has got a positive vibe going for it.
Yeah,
Like,
so it's it's
wholesome.
very suitable for a show in the first place, and that's a good thing that they chose this thing.
To be fair, there was also one. There were some night scenes regarding the summer festival, but outside that, and certain parts,
Yeah, it just just has this aesthetic of eternal sunshine, um, and it leads to everything always feeling very bright, um, and, and the characters themselves dressed in a way that kind of reflects that. They're always in very vibrant colors.
Even the fucking goth, she wears semi bright blue.
I mean, she's not a goth. She's a gamer,
She's a
really.
Yeah, Kotoha is a gamer. Sachan really loves shit, and Yui is basically the main character of Yuru Yuri, who kind of forgettable. Well,
Uh,
more like a nerd.
Yeah, she's more of a she's definitely we'll get there. Um, as far as like the art style of the show, it's very mid 2010s. Um, I think this came out in, like,
2018.
yeah. Because I remember when it came. I
Yeah.
didn't watch it until now. But
I mean, it is based on manga as well from like 2014. So, like, that's it's a slice of life comedy and about like kids basically.
yeah, so you can definitely see it in character designs and especially in a lot of the backgrounds, the way they do the foliage. It has this sort of like almost like digital paintbrush kind of look to it. Um,
I did notice something regarding the backgrounds, especially when it comes to the stores. I feel like they just took pictures of the stores themselves and decided, we're gonna put some filter here and there so we can save some time and budget as well.
yeah,
Because in certain areas like the gun shop, all the guns kind of looked like they were done in a mosaic filter.
yeah, it does kind of it does kind of a lot of the more detailed stuff sort of put this like some filter that kind of splattered together from which is very very typical. Um, it's kind of weird thinking about this being in a different era. It was really not that long ago. So it was also like 5 years.
Oh man.
My question is what happened? Because I remember that specific the 2010 that style stuck, and then now it's kind of still there, but there's like more and more CG thrown in, which is whatever. That's just to be expected. But it's like, I guess you think it's because of outsourcing? Because that style kind of slowly, has
It's outsourcing a lot of that stuff, and a lot of that thing is also the fact that like it's cheaper to make this kind of show. So,
Yeah,
and look, the budget for this show wasn't that big. Like it's not necessarily needs to be like this. You don't need to make this show to be like this Fate Stay Night reincarnation about slice of life or something. It's a simple manga, very cheaply done by Silverlink as a company, and they know how to do this kind of stuff. Like the very recent one is like what is the level 1 Demon Lord and Roommate or something. It's the same kind of shtick. It's cheap. It's interesting enough for a specific audience, and it makes money. That's all it needs to be. So
yeah. But it's kind of interesting. Like I don't remember like the art style. Like I haven't noticed the generalist changing, but just like going back to it, One thing I do like of note is that characters are often wearing they're wearing different outfits all the time, which
Mhm.
is something you don't see in a lot of shows.
Y- I knew you were gonna touch that
Yeah,
because I also figured out myself. The like all these in every single episode, or at least twice, they tend to change their clothes, and that's I mean that has to be a hassle in itself, coming up with
yeah.
different styles to wear while making a show like this.
But the funny thing is that they well, it's not funny, but like the the artists definitely had this idea in mind of like what aesthetic each of the three main characters would represent, and so they change outfits all the time. Like practically every time you see them, they have different outfits. Uh, but but it's also always sort of like they each character has a distinct and consistent sense of fashion.
Yeah, like for example, Kotoha is basically the she has like this traditionally feminine style to her, but while Sachan is the active type of kid, and she and Yui is like in the middle.
Yeah,
Like so, basically, they not only that, but also in certain aspects, the colors as well, because the three have different um like these are their favorite colors. Like for example, red, yellow, and blue. That makes sense.
yeah. It's definitely a good idea. It's definitely a good idea to primary colors. It makes them pop out from both their environment and from the rest of the cast. You can sort of drop these characters in a big crowd of people and spot them, uh, which which is also something that's quite nice looking when you're.
I
It,
like the
it,
fact that sorry, well,
it's definitely a good idea. Like I'm pretty sure the human brain perceives color before it perceives form.
mhm.
So like anything that are like primary contrast with the surrounding, you're just going to see them.
Well, unless you're colorblind, because there are several conditions in the eye which lets you see different certain colors, but others you can't. Like for example, and there's one where you can't see blue, another one where you can't see red, and another
Yeah,
one where you can't see green.
yeah.
And
That most people. Uh, yeah. Otherwise, there really isn't like too much to say about this show. Um, it like, this is about as typical as you can get for an anime in 2018 as
About
far as the
kids.
visuals go.
I personally like the fact that it's settled in a realistic setting because Ueno exists. Like all the locations are real. Well, they used to be like this was before the 2020, and I've been checking out the fandom wiki, and they add in each article they actually managed to put the the Google Maps directions to all of the locations in hand.
That's
Oh.
pretty cool.
Yeah, especially UE school. It's a real place. It's an actual school.
Oh yeah. If the location of elementary.
Yeah, yeah. Same with the shop that Pops owns. That is actually a real shop. Well, it used to be. Now it's closed. It used to be called Well Factory, for example. Mm, Well Factory actually used to be based on a store called Garakuta Boeki, which is located in Ameyoko. Ameyoko happens to be like the one of the shopping districts in Japan, in Tokyo. Like it's the closest equivalent to that would be Abenobashi in Osaka, and then in the West that would be say Chinatown or any place that has like a main street. And you know what? I know we're talking the visuals, but I'll tell you guys about the what I found about the location later on.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So I don't know. Other than I really don't have any other takes. It's it's about as it's about as like middling as you can get. Like there's really nothing wrong with it. There's nothing like in uh that like that I found striking in any way.
mm,
Just about like what you would expect from a show.
I really I really liked like the background. Like some of the backgrounds were actually not bad, like in terms of drawing.
Yeah.
Like especially towards the end when they're showing the town at the last episode they're making the video. Like this is our town. This is the direction to our town. Blah blah blah.
oh oh yeah, especially during the sakura trees when yeah, especially when the girls started going to the park to see the sakura leaves, which is also a very big reason to visit Ueno because of that particular area, the cherry trees, especially when they blossom.
Kind of.
This
I gotta say something really quick,
Mhm.
which is the Halloween episode was wild though.
Yeah. I kind of wish that they maybe instead of like doing this very grounded style, like maybe it would have lent to maybe it would have lent to a better, more memorable visual if they did something like some of the other slice of life shows did, made it like more stylistic, like Lucky Star or Peach, or even like Azuma Dio. Made it like less grounded. I think that might have made it look a little bit more interesting.
I wanna add something regarding the visuals, but this is actually more specifically related, and it's regarding the automobiles that were used in the automobile models. One of them caught my eye real quickly, but that's more because of so how should I say this? A memorable thing I saw in the traffic besides the BMW M5, a Toyota Tercel, which where I live in Puerto Rico, that Toyota is pretty popular with the young kids. It used to be like Toyota entry level compact, and then I realized that Toyota sold it as the Toyota Corsa. I didn't expect to see one in any anime I watched even because You will usually see stuff like the Toyota Corolla, Toyota Camry, Toyota Crown, the Nissan Gloria, Cedric, the all these cars typical of the Japanese atmosphere, like also the KG Dosha, which are the 660cc subcompacts, but not something that my sister-in-law owned a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Because, and I say that's a it's an extra kudos for my part. But it was more of a memory thing more than anything else. But I the only people who would actually identify with that would be maybe someone like me. But other than that, the there was not. Is it me or there was not enough CGI outside that?
Well, there really wasn't that. There really wasn't much, and this was like right before, like CGI was in anime frequently since like the early 2010s, but it was usually used for like background stuff for like cars. It kind of did destroy the mecha genre. But other than that, you didn't really see it at like the forefront of the visual. You only really saw it being used for like a car in the background or something for the most part back then.
Repeat what you just said. Like, so are we talking about like the processes for like creating the background visual?
No, I'm talking about
Oh, okay.
So, and this came right before they started doing stuff like using CGI for the characters in a lot of cases. So almost everything's kind of like at least as far as like the anime is which is pretty nice.
Yeah, it was drawing these with yeah, you would not have the same effect as someone drawing, say, a character from a Wacom tablet, for example, than actually doing that on Blender.
Yeah. But yeah. Hey, does anyone have any more takes on the anime?
Not really.
Yeah,
Not
no.
me at least.
I liked some of the how do I put this? I liked the storyboarding, like however it was done storyboarding wise, it was smooth. Like it was like you're actually like watching a couple people like doing their daily life things. It wasn't like there was like, you know what I mean, like the camera actually made sense for each scene.
Yeah.
My example is the episodes with the cat. Any of the episodes with the cat was done well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Monochrome.
That's the visuals for the show. It's grounded and kind of middle.
Mhm.
So let's talk about the sound design. And I have about the same opinion on the sound design. Like I can't think of any of the music off the top of my head. None of it comes.
How about the spaghetti western thing that we show that would play whenever these girls had a conflict, especially with Saito?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Oh well, it's like
Yeah, so they would do something that would almost reminiscent of Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Whenever they
Yeah.
would face off the poor park police officer that they thought was slacking off, they would not leave that guy alone.
Yeah. um, I also I also can hardly even think of the opening theme. Well,
It is
I-
very forgettable. It's
I-
it's cute and stuff, but it's kind of forgettable.
it was not bad, but it wasn't exactly nothing to write home about. Especially with the ending. Although whenever the next episode prologue would show up, you had these three girls arguing with each other or talking about each other in something that happened in the last episode, which is usually which I found pretty interesting. You don't really see that very often regarding
But you never seen women bickering, really?
no, I won't say they were no, I won't say they were bickering, but they were more like talking and during the after the credits rolled, the preview for the next episode, and you had these three actually talk about something random. You usually just instead of narrating what's gonna happen in the next episode, they're just
Yeah,
going
the
with
preview.
yeah.
Those
Mm,
actually were fun. Like that's one of those shows where the previews actually are fun, as opposed to like, oh, this will happen in the next episode. Be excited.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
like, no. So
no, it was just like, dude,
the-
dude,
Next week, the girls do absolutely
nothing.
nothing.
oh, it was more like
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Mixing my reference. I'm sorry.
well, basically, for example, talking shit about Saito, Pops, and all the other characters. Like I found it a bit amusing. Uh, I wish I could explain it correctly, but basically, just talking about things that happened in the current episode before, and then they would cut off. Like also, regarding the voice acting, I did watch at least one episode of the English dub. Something was pretty off about it.
Let me guess, the characters sounded too old.
Yes, especially Yui, considering that her voice actress in English is Lucy Christian. Like, I have nothing against Lucy, especially considering some of her roles, but I think they should have casted someone else that would do a more, or at least they would have told Lucy Christie to at least do a more childish voice. Like, I know she voiced Hello Kitty back in the day. She sounded more like a teenager, and that's a bit weird considering these girls are like 8 to 10 years old. Like they're not the only one who does this. Although Monica Rial as Sachan,
Oh no.
yes, Sachan was voiced
I
by.
didn't bother. I did not bother with the English dub because they sound more adorable. Because Japanese dub is culturally correct in this case. In
Mhm.
this case, because being from Asia, when I watch, Asian television, when they do dubs of kids, they usually hire women because higher pitch voice. But the thing is, the women from the culture know how the kids from that culture talk. So I can only imagine the English dub or any other language not being as cute because it's like, they're not from that culture.
They in English dubs in particular, uh, uh, they tend to sound like American.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
Like American teenagers from when the voice actors, so it's even more weird. It's like it's like they sound like a very dated version of like American
Mhm.
that are
And
too old for the character. It's really weird to hear.
yeah, and that's in comparison with actresses like Misaki Kuno or in this case, Yuki Takada. She is well. Let me say it like this. In the case of Yuki Takada, two of her most famous roles are Elma in Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, and she also voices Rei Onodera in Kaguya-sama Love is War. Who, to be honest, it's more like oh, she's also KMS7 C18 in Casual Lane because I know that Kiro plays that game.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, she voiced Tinjin in Honkai Star Rail. God damn, I didn't know
Yep.
that.
She is very prolific.
I didn't know that one though. Oh, she
Well,
voiced
now you know.
Kaija. God damn, that's crazy. Oh, anyways, it's like a night and day thing when it comes to these the Japanese voice actors compared to the Americans. I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, this is a sub." Oh, I prefer the dub because I can't read. Dude, honestly,
Learn to read. You
I'm
can
sorry.
do it.
I'm
We did
sorry.
it. It was
Yeah.
hard, but we did it.
Oh, I've been doing this shit ever since my childhood. Like, here's the thing: where I live, most of the animation was done in Mexican, like Mexican Spanish. So basically, yeah,
Yep.
for real. Like, you have all these animes that would come to Puerto Rico. They were dubbed in Mexico or Chile or anywhere else, or Ecuador in the case of The Flying House, which is a Christian anime that was actually commissioned by none other than Pat Robertson of
Oh God.
CBN. For real. This
Oh,
dude, for real, this guy actually commissioned Tatsunoko to create 3 Christian animes. And
Hell,
in the case of the the Latin dub, they went to Ecuador. And they even changed the
why?
theme song. See, I
Why
really
did
don't
they?
know. But the opening in the Latin American version of The Flying House is a banger. It's
Oh yeah.
full blown synth pop compared to the other openings of that. Okay. Uh, like I said, night and day difference regarding different voice actors. In the case of also I forgot that Kotoha is voiced by Brittany Kabowski, who I'll be honest, she's more competent of the 3. And that's because I've seen her as Himeko in Pani Pani Dash. You guys ever seen that one?
No.
Yep. Unfortunately, I have to admit that I did that.
I did watch it too.
God, it's so awful. Anyway,
Yeah, I watched it. Well, it was the English dub I did watch, not the Japanese.
it's the same shit. So it's all garbage.
Hey, it wasn't bad.
Pop culture references, yay!
Oh God,
Let's,
I didn't see
Anyway,
pop.
let's go back from a tangent.
let's actually be honest. There really isn't much.
Yeah, there's nothing here. Yeah.
Um, let's go on to characters. That's really going to be in a slice of life show. Characters are everything because nothing happens. So unless the character show is
All right, and
this
we're
show is
starting-
hilarious to me. This show is hilarious to me, but but I don't think it's a great. I would not call it an amazing show, but it was a good enough show, and the characters are fucking funny.
It was entertaining.
let's
I disagree, but
let's
okay.
talk about Yui first.
All right, the Yui Akamatsu, the group appointed leader of colors. Considering the fact that the irony is that despite being the leader of colors, she's actually really timid and anxious. Also, she's a crybaby.
It
Wait, what?
it almost feels like she's the leader just because the other two kind of find him. That's what it kind of feels. They they sometimes make fun of her for how timid she is. And you often find them doing things like at one point they teach her while they're playing hide and seek.
That was mean.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
um,
Yeah,
and they'll also put her into uncomfortable social situations, um, just for their amusement.
she is unironically the one that Saito tolerates the most in comparison to Kotoha and Sachan.
Yeah, they're
Sachan is the blonde one, right?
Yes.
She's very
Hold on, RJ.
yeah.
We're not gonna talk about Sachan yet. We're talking about Yui right now, and according to the wiki, I'm reading that when
She
told
tends.
that
I was going to say she tends to dominate the group in the place of Yui. Yui's just like a token leader, basically.
yeah. Yui is very timid, and soft spoken, and is usually only really confident when the other two are around. Um, and but she can be confident in a pinch, during the Halloween episode. She sort of has to fight through the timid personality to save the world from zombies, quote unquote. Um, she's also kind of she's also kind of afraid to do some of the rule breaking that the other two do, like when they decide to jump this do not enter barricade in
Oh
an
yeah.
alleyway. She tries to stop them, and then after they both enter, um, she reluctantly follows them.
Yui is basically the straight man of the group. I have been watching. If I had to make a comparison, and you're not gonna like this one, but I have been watching these AI president videos, and Obama in those videos, in those YouTube videos, is actually the straight man in comparison to
The
Stop.
other, the other
Stop.
ones. Yep, I get it. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Stop.
What you're describing. Yeah, what you're describing.
Stop.
Shut up. What you're describing is the proper character in a situation where you have like the wild card, you have the go getter,
Yes.
and then you have the guy who does things by the book.
and yeah, you have the and then you have the mad lad.
So
That's the wild card, the mad lad.
so
Oh,
then, let's speaking of that, let's talk about Saki.
real quick, well, I want to add something regarding Yui. Did you her ogre outfit is actually a reference to Lamu from Urusei Yatsura. For real. I thought, holy shit, did you just struck a Urusei Yatsura reference in this shit?
Oh yeah,
And they did.
um,
Yeah, yeah. Regarding the no, I was saying it was more a reference because she was dressed like an ogre in one of the episodes, and the tiger stripes were actually a remnant.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
yeah, that's one.
So,
Let's go.
Yeah, let's talk about us. Um, so Saki is the most outgoing of the group, but also probably intelligent.
She's also the most chaotic in the case of Sachan.
Yeah, she's quite impulsive. Uh, like when there's a sign that tells you not to do something, she's likely to be the first one to do it. For instance, she jumps one of the fences in in a music display. Um, she she walks into the shop and yells a very insulting question at the shop owner.
Poop.
Walks in. Oh,
Yeah,
but
it actually wasn't that one.
Oh.
But for
it was
some
about
reason
bread.
she always is out which I don't um that kind of weirded me out. I didn't know.
Maybe that's the point. Like she's just doing it to piss people off.
I don't know. I don't think the characters specifically I think they're just actual uh
Hmm.
Yeah, Sachan is basically the AI. The AI. She is basically the more chaotic character, and easily one of my personal favorites because, well, she just goes at it, especially when it comes to her philosophical take on life. In the end, we all become poop, and then
yeah.
somehow that ended up being a philosophical discussion when they were going to the fish market.
Yeah. Otherwise she otherwise she's generally the one who's encouraging their mischief the most.
She's also, she also,
In most cases, she's actually one who's sort of taking and not you.
yeah, basically she's like the de facto leader.
Oh, don't forget, she's also the one that does mean things to people, the others, and it like she So remember the episode where she was tormenting Kachan by saying, "Oh, was it her or was it Yui that said Kachan is the reason you obsess over video games because you can't beat them? Like the reason you
Yeah,
sit and you
it
play."
was her. Yeah, it was her who was fucking with Kotoha regarding how she sucked at video games, and then she
Was it a
went into a
DS?
crisis.
Was she carrying a PSP or DS? I can't remember.
It was
It was a
3DS
3DS.
yeah.
or DS. So,
It was a 3DS. Her mother, however, she takes after her mother because she runs a food store, and when it comes to when it came to the episode where they were selling bananas and strawberries, she was the one who took the initiative
Yes,
to
so
run.
that the mom would then purchase a tokusatsu monster suit, which they
Oh,
would then use to, torment other people by scaring the crap out of them.
that
Like an old
wasn't even
lady.
that wasn't even a tokusatsu discuss. That was actually like their own take on the chupacabra.
I understand that, but you have to understand that suit
Yeah,
also like from like a knockoff of like a monster from like Power Rangers or like Godzilla. That's what I'm getting at.
yeah, or something you would see in Super Sentai, in any Super Sentai series, like Judenja, for example. But yeah, I see what you're going for. Uh, she also she's the one who's making all the war playing puns. For some reason, she nails them, but then when Yui does it, she gets ignored.
Yeah. Let's move on to
Kotoha.
Kotoha. So Kotoha is my favorite. Um, at first, she seems like she seems somewhat disinterested. She's basically always playing a 3DS. everywhere she goes.
Mhm.
But she's also sort of the one that's most contemplative of the three, and you can tell by what kind of mischief she gets herself into. For instance, like Saki's mischief usually involves just being really blunt and annoying. Kuroha's mischief takes the form of much more well thought out pranks. So when when they're selling, I think they're like trying to get people to like hand out or they're trying to like hand out packets of tissue or something.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, for the tickets.
she basically drops like a tissue, like a packet on the floor, gaslights somebody nearby into thinking that they made her drop it, and then says you have to take it now. Like
Oh no,
that's
that's
the,
a,
that's the kind of stuff that she generally.
the thing with Kotoha or Koto-chan is that she is also unfiltered. She's unfiltered and unhinged, especially when when they're trying to open the safe and she says, "What if we find a pinky or a
Yeah,
finger?"
yeah. She's always she's always coming up with something a lot more quite a lot more morbid than you would expect from a girl her age. And I don't know, maybe it's all the video games she plays having an influence. I'm not sure, but she does kind of come across that way. Like she comes across like she's purposefully being edgy, because she thinks it'll be like really shocking to other people. And it is shocking to like her friends who are her age. But I feel uh, like older like teenagers and adults probably wouldn't take that kind of thing seriously from her.
Yeah, she's also yeah, especially she is a gold mine when it comes to other contests. Considering some of the stuff she says, like for example, when they're in the meat market, she's looking at the bones and she was saying, "These are probably human bones. These are probably pops."
Yeah,
Pops his bones.
yeah. She says that. I think she's trying to gaslight Yui,
Oh,
just to screw with her.
she also gaslights Sachan too. Ironic because here's the thing. In comparison to Koto and Sachan, well, Yui goes to a different school, which is never mentioned in comparison to Yui's school.
Well, no, it's mentioned that she's different.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I mean, there's also the fact that fun fact. I don't know if I'm the only one who notices it, but when she claimed to assault the riddle, she fucking dabs. Like how how. Like I saw a couple of scenes of these girls dabbing. I'm like, what the fuck? What the hell is this? Y'all get
Yeah.
fucking memed on by three little shits.
Yeah. Some of the pranks she holds are like outright diabolical. For instance, it actually popped up in the slideshow I have But she walks up to the police officer that they always mess with, Saito,
Mhm.
and they're like having an argument with them. Then like in front of the old lady who is asking for directions.
Yep.
She's
Oh,
the
yeah.
first one. She's the one who comes up with the idea of pretending to be in pain and accusing Saito of kicking her in the stomach,
Oh god.
which is really
Yeah.
that's like really mean.
That's insane more than anything else. Claiming that the guy, claiming that Saito, fucking did it as a point of police brutality.
Yeah, and
Bullshit.
the the old lady is so slow that she actually believes them. So because of that, Saito
Yep.
now has to like kowtow to like everything they say. So all three of them as a unit, I think they have a very good chemistry with one another. They're definitely they definitely play off each other. They're they also when they get together, they're both very imaginative and mischievous.
Mhm.
For instance, they get this fake rocket launch from Poppy's
Yep.
shop.
Best scene. Got me to watch the show. That scene got me to watch the show.
They think it's a real rocket launch. They actually try to shoot him with it, blow it up, and blow him up. And you have to imagine how peaceful of society that Japan is, where you can like show up to a police officer with a rocket launcher, and he just assumes it's a toy.
Rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
Rocket
and
You're trying to say you're trying to say rocket launcher.
I
Rocket
just
launcher.
imagine if this happened in America,
No.
that cop would have painted the sidewalk with their brains.
That chick would have been smoked. Like like by everyone. Especially in the New York City Zoo. Or park, really. Like she would be smoked from everywhere, basically. Must
Then
be others, but
during
it's okay.
the Halloween episode, Yui kind of like almost kind of like thinks the Halloween game is everyone really ours.
Mhm.
She they all collectively come up with the based off of very shoddy reasoning. They all collectively decide that the animals at the zoo aren't being fed because kids get in for free, so they assume they must not have any money because of that.
And consider the fact that the reason why they went to the zoo is it was because of a very dark and a very sad story about an elephant who
Yeah,
got into war with the tigers, and all of them start crying. Like Kotoha, like she doesn't even show it. Like she tries not to show it, but even she got affected by that story. And then
It shows like how easily children are influenced by like emotional whatchamacallit, variables in their environment, like a story or an adult telling them something. It does lead to some hilarity. Like the fact that okay, let's just after you're done with this, let's talk about the whole Saito thing. But sir, go ahead.
oh, I think we had enough of Kotoha for now.
yeah. Let's
Well-
talk about Saito actually.
So they're convinced just from their understanding of how the world works that if somebody is sitting down not, doing something that they're not working, especially if there's a police officer. Because in their minds, police officers are like the police are like, they're like the police officers from the movies and TV shows. So they think Saito is just a bum. He's just like not doing his job. They don't realize like that's his job to be at the park. He's a park police officer.
Mhm.
But so when the parade happens, and it's funny, it's one of the scenes where Sachan tells like one of the grandmas like, "Oh, you must be from, or your friend must be from my granddaughter's school." And then Sachan's like, "Yeah, but my friend probably dances better than your granddaughter." and,
Oh yeah, I know that. Oh yeah, I remember that.
then the grandma's just trying to like hold her temper because it's like, yeah, it's a kid. I can't be mean to a kid. It's like, wow, you sure are honest. Like for forward.
That
But
was
like when they see Saito, they're like, huh? Saito? What the heck? Saito is actually doing police work? No, it must be somebody else that just looks like him. They
Yeah.
convince themselves.
So uh, Saito finds these kids extremely annoying, which is because they're extremely annoying. These kids are an absolute. The reason they're a nuisance is they just assume that he's not doing it, which is kind of an interesting trait. Uh, you don't really get the people that are like this conscientious of their community in America anymore. But like they but like they are personally offended that somebody that according to their perception is like coming around. I think that's like a light on society. If it's true, it kind of is. Um, and because of that, they sort of feel justified in tormenting. And in a way that's like it's kind of bad because they're tormenting someone who's actually doing their job. But in another way, it's actually despite being a little misguided, it's actually quite a good trait because of like how conscient they are about their community.
Saito is very serious about his job, considering the fact that his workstation is basically near the zoo, and the man has a very big sense of responsibility, and obviously we know why, because he has to keep the peace around Ueno, and you got these.
Or his
I, I,
his part of Ueno, where like, the park and this the sector he's from. His job is to also inform people if they get lost or they need something. That's why the old lady came to him to get his help with something, and then the kids are actually interrupting his work.
Yeah.
Oh man, if you think, let's be honest here, regarding that one scene in Mitsuboshi Colors, that wasn't enough, especially when Koto Hachan straight up steps on the dude's head in a final sign of humiliation. After the girls proudly deliver, after Sachan delivers the ball buster at him.
I love the scene where they start annoying him, and he just like walks back inside his little station building, and closes his door and ignores them.
He's like, "Fuck this."
Oh, you guys remember that part when the girl starts ended up stealing the dude's bike?
What did you say?
There is a scene where the girls and in one of the episodes they end up stealing the dude's bike while he's not looking.
Or that scene where they throw these like stinky at him.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know. Oh, and also as a final insult, they gave him a bag of durian, the smelliest food to ever come out of Southeast Asia. Like, how that shit smells like rotting meat. Not even my worst. What would I actually get this shit to my worst enemy? Maybe as an April Fool's joke, but outside that, I'm not cold enough to give him a bag of a fucking durian.
Yeah.
I was going to quickly add before we move on to Pops, because he's also important. In fact, he had a conversation with Saito about the importance of the future and how these children are part of that future. Saito's like these annoying little brats. Like what use are they like having them around? Pops is like, watch it, dude. Like these kids, you don't seem to understand. These kids are part of the future generation. Basically, because in Japan, Eastern culture, children are very important to a good extent because they carry on not just the lineage of of the family, but the community. Like that to them, that's a big deal. But which is that's the last episode is showing like them saying like, hey, we're from Ueno, this is blah blah blah, and this is our town and blah blah. Like that's basically like, yeah, like we're not going to get a sequel to or anything like that, but that's a hint at their future where they already care enough about their community that they're pretending to be Power Rangers effectively. But back to poor Saito. Yeah. So given everything they did to him, I think Will put it. Was it you? Was it Will or was it you? One of you said it's just like Konoha was stomping on his head, or she was grinding her shoe. She was grinding her shoe into her boot into his head and going, as in like we won. I remember now, but yeah. So, before I forget, we got to mention this. These girls are very good at like gaslighting people. If whether it was that old lady when they were on Saito, or whether it was at the park when they're handing out strawberries, and that poor dude, he's like looking for work. He couldn't find work, and he's talking to himself. He's like, "Oh man, what am I gonna do? All I have is basically I think the equivalent of like $5 or $2.50 or something. Get 500 yen on him." And then the girls go up to him and like they're like tell him like they give him like generic life advice, and it makes him feel better. And they're like, "Oh no, we're actually talking about how you should get these strawberries."
Oh, what about that part when they're going to an alleyway and start selling bananas to the mob?
Oh, they like sell these bananas to these gangsters, and even the gangsters are kind of like we're gonna have fun with kids, and they are like pretending to shoot at each other with.
Ironically enough, the Yakuza are not as, like, for example, they're not like like I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but the Yakuza isn't exactly as feared as in the West in Japan
They're
because
not the same people as they portrayed here, or what Japan like shines outward from their own culture, because it's they're not like thugs essentially like what you have here in the West. They're more like more elite mafia, I would say, even if that even possible.
they're a lot more polite unless you fuck with them. Then the
Yeah,
real shit
yeah,
happens.
they don't they don't care if you know unless you cross the territory, that's different. But, you know.
Sure.
So let's talk about Pops. That's the other major.
AKA Daigoro Kujiraoka. Funny thing about that, his name is actually a translation of, and I know Kujira means oh, hold up. Kujiraoka. Well, you got yeah, Oyajin Oyaji. Oh, Pops is actually one of my personal favorite characters because of his charisma.
Yeah, it's fun.
He's basically whenever he's around the kids, he's basically always having fun. He's always happy and charming around them, and giving them them a bomb to defuse with a riddle to say like what fire. It's obviously not a real. The kids think it's real, but it doesn't like really scare them. Which
The
is
bomb.
interesting.
Because they don't have a
Well,
concept of what bomb actually is. I mean, they
Yeah.
kind of understand basics, but they don't. Yeah,
the
They,
bomb.
the
it's a fun
three,
assignment.
yeah, the three
So.
kids don't have a real like sense of danger. Maybe that's just because they're growing
kids.
up in Japan.
And their kids.
No, it's just because they're kids.
But anyway, or he gives them like a real call to open a safe. And he's basically always doing things to like give these kids like something to do.
Yeah.
He always has like every time you see him, he has on a different pair of wacky sunglasses.
Yeah.
I always liked.
Yeah, considering the old man runs a factory called Well Factory, which is a general store that sells novelty items. Yeah, oh, there we go. His last name Fujiraoka means well mountain, so hence the name of his store is Well Factory because it's a play on his last name. Anyways, in the case of Pops, we know what the guy it gets into when he hands these three girls a fucking toy rocket launcher. Just to say, you know what? Here, you guys want to fuck with Saito? Here, I got you, fam. Here's a toy. Here's a rocket launcher. You guys can fire at the dude's nuts or something. I don't care.
Yeah.
But-
He
But yeah,
he does enable some of their mischief without a doubt.
he also has an important role. During the final episodes, he is the man responsible for safekeeping their time capsule. Because originally they were going to bury it under a tree, but the girls decide. But then Pops tells them that the tree's gonna. The capsule being made out of Danish sugar cookies at that. It's going to rot because it's pure metal, and all the stuff that's inside it is memories. And then one of them, Sachan, starts telling the old man, please live for 10 more years. Because that's actually them wanting to open the time capsule in that one episode in 10 years time.
Yeah, I'm sure he has more than 10 years, so they don't have to worry too.
I mean,
You
he's
know-
like what 40 probably or something.
He looks to be in his 50s, or at least.
50s to
We do not know basically.
yeah, around 50 to 60s. He RJ, this was more specific to you, but the man has the same vibe as Jonathan Joestar in part 3 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Kinda, yeah, kinda.
Yeah, he's like the fun grandpa. If I were to say like this, he's the fun grandpa. Before we go into the anything else to tell about old Pops besides being best
No,
character in the series?
I think that's about it. The characters are definitely good enough to carry a nice show. So I think it's quite well done, at least in that respect. So let's move on to the basically non-existent. Yeah, nothing particularly important happened. It's a slice of life
At all.
So it doesn't it doesn't really have much of an overall plot at all. Um,
It's just typical random shit that happens one day to another.
yeah,
So
it,
not
it's you're basically just watching the daily life like pretty and imagine that's that's oh um there's like we can we can talk about like the sort of world that they're in, maybe like
okay. Regarding okay, I'll be quick regarding the area, but this place takes part in a particular street, well, more of a district called Ameya Yokocho or Ameya Alley in Japanese. It's also known as Ameyoko. It is. I'm reading the Wikipedia of this real quick. It's an open air market in the Taito ward of Tokyo, next to Ueno Station. The place is real, actually. It is known as one of the busiest shopping streets in Japan, if not the biggest one, because the place itself is home to 250 shops. They will whatever you want to buy, you will find it there. Say weapons, food, candy, cameras, anything you want. It's in there. Fun fact: this place actually used to be a black market area for USGIs after the war. And in the case of Ameyoko, um, it basically you could get pretty much anything, and by that I mean, say say you want to buy something like a Hershey bar or an AK-47, maybe that's an airsoft one. You will get there's a lot of American stores as well where you could buy American jeans and pretty much anything that's from America that's not available in Japan. Yeah, this is your place.
yeah.
Um, someone played too much Persona 5, but okay.
No. So this thing is for Persona 5.
He's actually he what he's talking about is the history of that part of Japan.
Right.
Even before World War II, that part of Japan had a black market. It was basically like an open bazaar, like just
Basically that it's a big bazaar, and it's actually close to Akihabara as well, which is another place where the girls slightly cover, at least in episode 2. The girls in one of the episodes they go to Akihabara, like the back alley is Akihabara when it comes to the hide and seek game. We all know what Akihabara stands for. This is the I wouldn't say this is the Japanese otaku paradise. This is like the place to be if you are into anything that's anime related. You will find it. It's also where they sell the most games as well. There are actually two disputes regarding Ameyoko. One of them is that it was actually named after America, because that area in particular used to have a lot of surplus shops after World War II. The other part is the place is named after the Japanese term for candy, which is ame. And that's where you can find a lot of traditional Japanese candy. I
Yeah.
know, but that's about as far as I'll go, because they also cover other places like the Japanese National History Museum. It's like a bit of a, I wouldn't say that it's close enough to a tourist a tourist guide of Ueno, but it's close enough because there's also that one there's also that one there's a fuck sorry, I'll make this quick. all the places are based on on real areas. For example, the Saigo Takamori statue, that's the one with the samurai and the Chiba Inu. The store that Pops operates, it used to be called fucking hell. Hold on. Let me go back to Pops Pops. Oh yeah, Gio, yeah, Gio,
Whatever
yeah,
you
Gio.
have on the top.
Got
So we're running out.
yeah, Garakuta Boeki, which used to be a general store that unfortunately closed after 2020. This was during, that situation. It's now replaced by an American store that sells American apparel.
So
Let's move on.
yeah, let's move on. Or RJ has to go. Please.
Yes.
Um,
And let's just move. Let's go straight to the ratings. And final word.
yeah, RJ.
Yep.
All right. You want to do your rating first?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, so I would say at 7.5. I was gonna give it a 7, but it had grown on me, which is why I suggested it for a slice of life. So yeah, 7.5. It's good for what it is.
You're
Alright.
rather generous, my friend.
All right. Riker.
Have Neko. I will give my turn to Neko. Then I'll go next. Okay.
All right. Here's the thing. I didn't expect that show to be as fucking torturous as it actually was ended up being. Now, I don't hate the show, to be frank. I don't. There's a different slice of life subgenre which this anime represents. This is basically cute underage girls doing cute things, which is fine by me, whatever, right? Do I like the show? No. Do I hate it? No. It's one of those things that, like, you watch it and you're like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I wasting my time watching this as opposed to watching literally any other damn show? Now, if you like this kind of stuff, which I think that show is really for kids, really not for adults anyway, which kind of suggests PG-13 ratings, which in Japan it's less, but whatever. The point is, it doesn't have any substance. The reason why this show exists is because the manga itself, the original one, became really freaking popular, and it's being done at 20, but was half of that manga was done basically, because in 2020 that manga got shut down basically.
Shut down,
And
or like did the story end properly?
It got discontinued.
It's yeah, basically, because there's really nothing there. It's look, it's a show about a happy life of children who doesn't care about, like, politics, economy, paycheck, all of this stuff, and they're just having fun, which is fine. And it's manga for kids, so, and maybe like moms or whatever, or people who want kids or whatever. That's it. So as a score, I'm just gonna give it like 5.5 because there's nothing there.
All right. Riker.
All right. All right. Regarding the show, I am glad to know that. Well, it's actually short because I sat through it. I sat through the entirety of the series by 6 hours, really. And what do I have to say about it that hasn't been said? It's a show about cute girls doing cute things, which is a genre in itself, more like a subgenre of slice of life. And sometimes you get like this fatigue when it comes to shit like, for example, say you're watching isekai, shonen, shoujo, and there's so much of it that you just get tired, and sometimes you just wanna watch a show about three girls just doing mischievous things in a city district. Other days you just wanna it depends on what mood you are, because personally, I needed to get this through in one day before I forgot. And I've seen my share of slice of lives. For example, well, we covered a few like Nichijou, and we might end up covering Asumanga Daioh one way or another, because honestly, it is like the big pillar, but when that genre itself became popular. But nah, it might not be the time. Okay, what do I think? This show was actually pretty well done when it came to the atmosphere, the the stuff that you would see these girls do, the comedy was there. It was well done, all things considered. Now, the bad things I would say is that, for example, I wish I would have seen a lot more animated scenes instead of stills, because most of the time they're doing like these still images, and frankly, that throws you off. I don't know if you're watching a slideshow or you're watching an animation in a sense. Is this show bad? No, no, it's not. It's not exactly groundbreaking. It's just something that will do its job, and it does it well. My rating is a solid 7. Uh, Mitsuboshi Colors was actually a pretty entertaining show, and frankly, uh, something that would get you through the end the entertainment fatigue. So then again, the sad thing is, however, that not only is the manga discontinued, there is not going to be a second season of the show. Fun fact, however, the guy who created this was also the guy responsible for another slice of life called Hitoribochi. This is the same dude. And I noticed right away, not only because of the how it's reading the article, but also the fact that Yui legit looks like Aru Honsho from Hitoribochi, just a younger version. She is only Yui is not unlucky like Aru is. So it's a solid 7, honestly. It's something that you would have to pass the time, and that's about it. That's about as far as it goes. It's sad that there's not going to be a second season, but then again,
All
I
right.
don't think shows like this actually go with it. Will, here you go.
Uh, so the show it has like all the pieces of a good slice of life. Uh, the characters are the characters are interesting enough characters. They work well off each other. The side characters they interact with funny. Um, and the show the thing that makes a slice of life good is if it's like actually because well, quite frankly, happen. They don't have a plot. They don't really have much. Uh, the comedy generally carries, and unfortunately, while it is funny, it's not funny like Kazuma. It's not funny like Nico, Kill Me Baby, or Angry with Dropout. Like all of these shows that are I think it's just not like nearly as funny as so. And with it like not having much of good art style, having like forgettable like the art styles kind as far as music is very generic. Whereas like the music from Azumaki, it can pop into my head right now. That I can and stuff from Offline. So it, you'll notice we were sort of bereft of things to talk about. So many aspects are just kind of it. And and the humor, while humorous, so compared to others, it's kind of um I give it a 6.5. And average together we have 6.23. The mouse score is 7.41.
IMDb is 6.8. So around that area.
Yeah. So that was the podcast for August and September. We'll see you guys next time at October. Until then,
See ya.
And stay safe out there. It's a little bit stormy. Just saying.
Oh.
walk around with an umbrella.
Umbrella not gonna help you
Make
sometimes.
sure to jump a lot while you do.
Oh wait a
Just
minute.
make sure you can swim.
All right. Hey,